What's up, y'all? The NBA season is back, and while teams continue to find their footing, our partners at Fanatics Sportsbook are already running championship plays. Bet with Fanatics and earn up to 10% fan cash on your bets, win or lose. So even if your bet misses, you're still scoring fan cash, which you can use on NBA gear, tickets, and exclusive Fanatics events. And with fair play, if your players go down injured in the first half, your bet stays live. Make the switch and get more ways to win with Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome to KFS Weekly Wagers. I'm Shawn with W, and I am again joined this week by my good friend and the host of NBA Takedown, Mr. Jonathan Macri, among other things. Jonathan, long time no see. How are you?
You must have been a bad boy again this week that you're stuck with me for the second time in 7 days. But I don't know. Maybe you'll escape whatever jail you're in by next week. We'll see.
Well, I'm never stuck with you, John. But to run with the bit, I'm stuck with you and not with Mensa, because Mensa is at home with his he's at home. Can we announce this?
Did
he? You know what? Mensa's not here. So
Mensa is out for personal reasons.
Yes.
But it's a good personal reason.
Yes.
We'll just say that.
Exactly. So shout out to Mensa. Hopefully Mensa will be back next week. But again, I'm never stuck with John. I like being here with John. And we're now going to discuss the New York Knicks from a betting perspective. So first, let us start off with the week in review. So last week, the New York Knicks were 0-3 ATS. They did not cover one spread. They were 1-2 on the money line, and they were 1-2 in terms of over-unders. So one game went over, 2 games went under. This year, they're 9-6 straight up, and they're 8-7 against the spread, 10 overs and 5 unders. I am not surprised that 10 of the 15 games they've played this season have gone over. I'm assuming, John, you're not surprised either.
I mean, they had the third. Last I checked, they had the third best offense in the league. So, and they can't defend anybody. So, no, not particularly surprised.
Oh my goodness! So yeah,
is it not one of the safest? I mean, I'll check the over/under standings league wide right now, but I have to think betting an over on a Knicks game is one of the safest bets in the league right now.
I would think so. I would think so also. And then really quickly, for our betting and sweating recap. So, and I had this right here. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, it's betting and sweat. Okay. Yes, here it is. So, currently, wait a minute. Where did this go? Okay. So
I could filibuster for a second and just tell you that in terms of the over/under, the Knicks are, as you just said, 10-5. That's their overs have hit. There's only 4 teams whose overs have hit more consistently, and it's the Rockets, Magic, Warriors, and Blazers.
Okay. So and that may be a bit of foreshadowing coming on later in the show. So in terms of betting and sweating, so I have the records up here on the screen. So these are the picks that are made by the faculty in the Fanatics Sportsbook app. Andrew, who was 5-1 last week, dropped to 5-3. So he's
hate to see it.
You hate to see it.
Really.
I know what he's tied with you and Jeff at 5-3. I know what you really hate to see is me at 6-3, because apparently I know what the hell I'm doing, and Mensa, because of personal reasons, is at 4-5. But I have faith in Mensa to turn it around. And for the video picks, and those are picks that we make that we post on our socials. I'm still in the lead with 31 points. I'm tied of Andrew. Followed by John of 27, Jeff of 25, and Mensa, again, for personal reasons, has 9 points. Go ahead, John.
I'm still salty about some of the bets that I lost in the game that I picked this week.
There were Yes, there were a couple. There were a few bad beats. And to dive a little bit deeper, so this season, um, and by the way, for the record, we in full transparency, that's what we do here at Knicks Film School.
Always.
There was a bit of a scoring error where we were accidentally. So for the out of town bets are supposed to be 1 point each. We were assigning 2 points for the out of town prop, so we adjusted that. So that's why I went from 32 points to 31 points, but I'm still in the lead.
Okay.
I am so in terms of
Sounds
record,
like shenanigans.
it is absolute shenanigans. Okay. I am so in terms of the record, I have the best record at 10-11. In terms of picks I got right versus picks I got wrong. Andrew is 13-15, Jeff is 11-17, John is 10-18, Mence is 5-23. However, you're probably wondering, why the hell would I listen to any of you if you're under 500? The key is not necessarily the bets that you win, but it's the odds that you bet. So, for example, I've hit a number of best bets this year, and our best bets are 4 points. Also, if you hit your home run bet. So, for example, I hit on Sam Merrill most threes, that's plus 400. So keep that in mind when you're sticking around with us. All right. That is this week. That is last week. So let's dive into what to look for this week. So now the Knicks have 4 games between now and next Monday. They play tonight. They are at the Brooklyn Nets. They then go to Charlotte on Thanksgiving Eve to play the Hornets. They then return home on Black Friday, to play the Milwaukee Bucks, and then they host the Toronto Raptors on Sunday night at Madison Square Garden. For purposes of this show, because obviously lines aren't, they don't post lines for basketball games 2, 3, 4, 5 days in advance. So, purpose of this show, we're going to concentrate on tonight's Brooklyn game. Although I have a bit of a tidbit for the Hornets game.
Breaking news?
No, not breaking news, but something I actually want to discuss with you. But first, let's talk about Brooklyn.
Do we have to talk about Brooklyn?
Yes, we have to talk. We have to talk about Brooklyn. But so this is interesting. Today is technically it's a road game because it's not in their own building. But this is the 4th game of a 4-game road trip. But of a 5-game road trip, this is the 4th game. However, again, because they're playing in Brooklyn, which is in the city of New York, it's very likely. Well, we know they slept in their own beds last night, and it's very likely that they slept in their own beds Saturday night, because that was a 5:00 start in Orlando. That game ended around 8, which means they probably hightailed it out of there. It wouldn't surprise me if they hightailed it out of there, flew back to Westchester, and were all in their own bed. So, John, I ask you, how much? I mean, obviously, we know that the building is going to be 60% Knicks fans, and I'm probably being conservative here, but do you look at this game as a 4th game of a 4-game road trip? Because even though they slept in their own beds, they still had to travel back home. And how does that inform how you're looking at any bets that you may take?
So I was listening to, what broadcast did I have on? I want to say it was a Hawks broadcast within the last week or so, and it was their first game back from a road trip. Mm-hmm. And the announcer, and they were playing like shit. So as most the Hawks, and I should say the Hawk broadcast is pretty good, but like they're like average level of homerism, which is still pretty homerific. So as the Hawks started playing like crap in the 4th quarter and they like gave up a run or something, the announcer was like, well, you know what they say, first game back from the road trip is like the last game of the road trip, because again, you have been on the road. I do think your point about them potentially sleeping in their own beds after the Magic game is a good one. And also, I'm just going to be like, look, I don't know how else to say this, so I'm just going to say it. Is there a greater discrepancy in, oh man, we got to deal with that team tonight versus, oh, look who we got coming up next? Like, other than, Brooklyn is definitely on one end of that spectrum. I haven't checked recently if they're still like the worst defense in the league, but they're not good. And Orlando's like definitely right now, the way they're playing is top 3. Like, you really don't want to be dealing with it. So I think in spirit, I am looking at it as a home game, and I think it should be treated as a home game.
I 1000% agree. So One thing I'm looking at.
29th, by the way. Sorry. The Nets are the second to worst defense in the league, ahead of the Washington Wizards.
Okay. So what I would say is here's what I'm looking at tonight. The last time they played this team, they beat them by 36 points, 134-98. That's at Madison Square Garden.
They did.
The spread currently is, I believe the spread is 13.5.
That's what I saw it as of 5 minutes ago. I'll double check right now. But yes, it's 13.5.
13, yeah, from our friends at Fanatics Sportsbook. By the way, this show is brought to you by Fanatics Sportsbook. The spread is 13.5. I'm looking at alternate spreads.
So I know where you're going with this. And I will just say, if you're gonna if you're gonna go in that direction and you're going to make this game a little bit more interesting, shout out to our friends at Fanatics, I would not just take the regular line. Because the Knicks are 8-7 against the spread, as you mentioned before. The Knicks. I said the Knicks, right? 8-7 against the spread. The Nets are 8-7-1 against the spread, and I have not watched as much Brooklyn Nets basketball of late as I did earlier in the year. But like, the thing about this Nets team is their coach, like, he generally has them playing hard for most of the 48 minutes of the basketball game. And they have Michael Porter Jr., who is, look, you don't want Michael Porter Jr. as the best player on your team, but he is at least enough of a guy that he can get going. And by the way, he did get going against the Knicks in the first half of their last game. And Shawn, you'll remind me, what did the Knicks do to start the second half to put out the Michael Porter Jr. fire? Who did they assign to guard Michael Porter Jr.?
That will be one OG Anunoby.
Yes, and OG Anunoby is probably sitting around wherever the hell he is in his pajamas because he is not playing basketball tonight. And so I am already a little bit worried from that perspective. That said, it is still the Nets. So if you're going to make it interesting, you might as well go big or go home, which is, I will throw it back to you.
So here's what I'm going to do. First of all, before I say that, so actually, them bringing up that them being 8-7-1 is interesting against the spread. Which, to your point, they play hard. It just seems like usually what tends to happen is they play hard in the fourth quarter, they get blown out. In fact, shout out to Joe House from the Bill Simmons podcast who pointed out that he's been making money on live betting the Nets to not cover a 10-point spread because they end up losing by double digits. John, do you know how many home games the Brooklyn Nets have won this year?
Zero.
Yeah, okay. They are 0-9 at home. I just had this in front of me. Yeah, they're 0-7 at home this year. So what I'm looking at is this. I'm trying to, and of course, the Fanatics Sportsbook app my phone is.
I would just say, as the home team against the spread, the Nets this year are 3-4. So it's not quite as juicy as you're making it out to be. But yeah.
So what I'm looking for here is, and now the Fanatics, my phone is like crashing.
I'll filibuster some more. This is why the question that you opened the show with is such a smart and good question, and is really the question that should dictate what people are going to do tonight. Again, if they want to make this game more interesting, the Knicks are 8-1 against the spread at home. Against on the road, the Knicks have they are the only team, in the league that has not covered a game on the road. So again, if you are going to treat this like a home game for the Knicks, you should absolutely go heavy on all of your Knicks bets. If you feel like it's a true road game, you should not.
And the only thing that is not a home game about this game for the Knicks is that they will be coming out of a different locker room than the one in Madison Square Garden. Yeah. They have slept in their own beds. They will have their probably same routine for a home game. They'll probably have the same amount of time. They're going to have the crowd. Here's my suggestion for you. When I look at alternate spreads, and this is something I've been doing a lot this year, move the line until you get plus money. So for right now, the line is 13.5 minus 110. minus 14.5 is even money. So if you think they're gonna, and now granted, do I think they're gonna beat them by 36? Especially to your point, John, they don't have OG Anunoby.
They don't.
All right, they're not going by 36. Let's say they win by 20. That's right. That's 16 points. That's 60. So that's 16 points better, right?
Yeah.
Minus 20 is minus 19.5 is plus 175.
So there's a reasons to like this, and there's reasons to not like it. The reasons to like a big bet like that, I think, are the fact that like we'll sit here as Knicks fans, and we will have our existential crises, as I did with many of my fellow New Yorkers and other Knicks fans around the world on Saturday between the hours of 7:30 and 9 p.m. But those moments happen against real basketball teams, like the Orlando Magic, who are very much a real basketball team, especially without Paolo Banchero. The Nets are not. Sorry,
I love it.
The Nets are not a real basketball team, and I think unless you think things are really not in a good, spot with this Knicks, for whatever the reason is, like they should be able to go in and take care of business tonight. Where I would go, again, this is just me, because if this was a different Knicks team, maybe with a different Knicks coach, we might see, and by the way, with everybody healthy, we might see the Knicks come out and A+ defensive intensity from the opening tip. I'm not banking on that. I'm banking they're going to come out there and they're going to score a lot of points. So if I was going to do one like as the game as a whole, if I was going to look in one direction, you could actually make a wager on Fanatics Sportsbook under the lightning bets section for the total amount of points scored in the first 4 minutes of the game, between the 12-minute mark of the first quarter and the 8-minute and 1 second mark of the first quarter. And they offer 3 different options here: 15.5, or over 15.5, over 17.5, and then over 20.5. Now, the over 17.5, the over 15.5 is minus 350. So again, it's that, I don't know if that juice is really worth the squeeze. Over 17.5 is minus 160. Now, I don't know about you. I could see the Knicks scoring 18 points by themselves in the first 4 minutes. And then if you really want to get frisky, and this is the one that I'm looking at, over 20.5 points in the first 4 minutes, that's plus 160. So like the score could be 11-10 after 4 minutes.
Yes.
And you're getting plus 160 on that. I think I that's the direction that I would be looking, because I'm not counting on a ton of defense being played out of the gate in this game.
And I think, to your point, looking at totals, looking at high scoring games, and to your point, like this is not the game where they're like, all right, let's get our defense intensity up. It's like, let's just outscore these people.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. So I agree with you there. For me, I'm going to look at an alternate spread. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to, because listen, winning games by 20 in this league is not easy. It's not, it can happen because of the variance in 3-point shooting. However, it works in different directions, especially like the last thing you want to do is you lose your bet because in garbage time, Igor Denham starts throwing up threes, right? So instead of taking 13, instead of laying juice at 13.5, minus 14.5 is even money. Take that.
Go with that, especially since, I hate to be this person, but it's not like the guys that are coming off the bench for the Knicks at the end of a blowout are world beaters right now. Yeah. So I don't know.
Exactly. So that's how we're looking forward to. That's what we're looking for tonight. John's looking at total points in the first 4 minutes. I think you said it's plus 160.
Plus 160 over. So 20.5 is the line there.
And I'm looking at Knicks minus 14.5 for even money. If you want to creep up, 15.5 is plus 115. You want to creep up, whatever. But don't get too cute. Don't get too cute. Now, before we get to futures, I do want to discuss Wednesday's game. And so usually you and I talk about this all the time, John. The game against the Hornets, technically, officially, it's the 5th game of a 5-game road trip.
Technically.
However, clearly, like again, it's not about us shitting on Barclays Center as much as that the Knicks are slept in their own bed, and that's the biggest advantage that a home team has. You sleep in your own bed, you have your own routine, you wake up, Normally, so if you maybe you remember last year, the Knicks faced the Hornets on Black Friday at noon, which was the 5th game of 5-game road trip,
and it was the worst. I would argue it was the worst they played.
Yes.
All year.
Yes. And I yelled from the rooftops, this game stinks. I yelled it from the rooftops at the time. And a lot of people were like, so if you remember, they played that Thanksgiving Eve, they played Dallas, and they lost to Dallas. And they lost to Dallas, who had it was basically Kyrie, Najee Marshall, because no Luka, it was Kyrie and Kyriettes. And I remember more people were telling me that they were more worried about the Dallas game because Kyrie always shows up against the Knicks than they were about the Hornets, who I think LaMelo Ball didn't play that game. I don't think Miles Bridges played in that game. They were down some guys.
A few guys were out, yeah.
But I said, dude, this game is the 5th game of a 5-game road trip, and it's noon on Black Friday. This game stinks. And they won that game by 1 point. Yeah. Fast forward to a year later.
To win it.
And they got lucky. Fast forward to today, this week. Again, they have the Hornets on the 5th game of a 5-game road trip. But, John, are you looking at that the same way as you would look at other 5th games of a 5-game road trip?
I wouldn't touch that game with 10-foot pole. Let me just say that. And I will also just say the Hornets have been feisty lately. Con Knipple, I don't know how many people are paying attention to what Con Knipple's doing because he's in Charlotte, but the kid's averaging like 25 points a game for the last like 2-3 weeks. He is the front runner for Rookie of the Year. I watched a little bit of their game against the Hawks last night. I don't want to say they should have won the game. They very easily could have won the game, and they've been scoring. So 110 against the Hawks, 116 against the Clippers, 118 against the Pacers, 108 against the Raptors, who have very good defense. Like they've been putting up points. And again, we know what this Knicks defense is. So I don't know.
Here's what I'll tell you.
And they have 2 days. Sorry, they have 2 days off before the Knicks game.
Okay, there you go. So here's how I'm looking at it. Even though again the Knicks slept in their own beds last night and will probably sleep in their own beds tonight, what will happen is the Knicks will basically have flown from New York to Dallas to Orlando, back to New York. Yeah, back to New York. And then to Charlotte. Charlotte is 7-9 against the spread this year. Obviously, the line
4-4 at home.
Yeah, 4-4 at home. Obviously, there's no line for this game because it's 2 days from now. But it's safe to
be double digits.
Okay, so it's safe to say that I think I'm not going out on a limb by saying that Brooklyn and the Nets are similar. Like, listen,
Brooklyn
the Nets
and Charlotte,
yeah, Charlotte, yeah. So the Nets are 3-13. The Nets are 3-13. Charlotte's 4-12. The Knicks are giving 13.5. They'll probably, because this game is on the line will probably be 10 minimum. I would take the 10. I would take the 10. I would take the points. Yes. I think the Knicks are going to win the game, but I will take the points. It reeks of, to your point, a lot of travel. It's Thanksgiving Eve. They want to go home. They want to get back to their house for chilling Thanksgiving. They get to spend Thanksgiving at home this year, which they didn't get to last year. I can see that could be the game where, like, all right, we're doing just enough to get the hell out of here. So
I'm down with it. Good stuff.
Yeah. So, all right. So that is that for this week. Let's jump into our futures review. So to win the NBA championship, your New York Knickerbockers have not moved. 13 plus 1,300 to win the title, 5th best odds. To win the Eastern Conference, they are plus 380, second best. Last week, they were plus 400. So they actually improved despite that dog doo-doo performance in the fourth quarter he put up against.
And look, Vegas is a lot smarter than us. Yeah. So the fact that nobody over there, and look, it's not always, this isn't about predicting. It's about getting people to put their money down. So
absolutely. Do you want to guess who's the third best odds to win the Eastern Conference?
After Cleveland and New York?
Cleveland. Yes, Cleveland is plus 225, Knicks plus 380. Who do you think is third?
Is it not Detroit?
It is Detroit, plus 750. Yep. Orlando 8-1, Philadelphia LOL 9-1.
Detroit's plus 750
to win the East. You think John is thinking about this?
No, because if you were smart, well. So I'm just saying, let me just be very clear about this. I do not think the Detroit Pistons are going to win the Eastern Conference this year. I want to say that unequivocally. So why am I about to advocate putting money down at plus 750? If you put the money down at plus 750 now, I do think the Pistons are like this team as a regular season team is not a mirage. And I think, like, again, I don't know fucking Tom Gores. I don't think Shawn knows Tom Gores either. I know if they have what?
No, I know who he is, but I don't know him like that. Clearly,
because it seems like, let me put it this way: if he is willing to pay Monty Williams $75 gazillion to go home, take his clipboard and go home, I gotta think if he thinks his team has a chance to make the freaking finals, and there's a trade on the board that could help him. I would. That's why that's the scary part for Knicks fans is if they do the marketing trade or if they do a trade for, I forget which Ringer personality mentioned this as something as an option, like Trey Murphy or something from New Orleans, like any legit two-way. I mean, Trey's not a great defender, but you get my point. Yeah. Like any legit guy, and they have the goods because they have Ivy, they have Ron Holland, they have all their picks. They are ripe to make a trade. So you better believe that plus 750, if they make a big trade and if their regular season success continues, which I think it will, that's going to be looking a lot more like plus 300, plus 350 by the time we get to the playoffs. So if you are looking at an arbitrage situation, put the money down now on plus 750 and then make your I don't know if there's a name for this. Make your other bets on the eve of the playoffs or on the eve of, like, whatever, the Cavs series against the Pistons or the Knicks series against the Pistons.
That makes sense. No, I agree with that. Like, because to your point, if that trade happens, if a trade happens, that 750 will be gone like that. Nice newsletter today, John.
I didn't mean to put that up there. I was trying to respond directly to that person.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Thank you. I'll just say thank you now that I put it up there mistakenly.
No, you're all good. And in division, interesting enough for the division, they are now minus 140 to win the division instead of down from minus 170. And I will ask this question every single week: who the blood clot else is going to win the East? So please take this and parlay this with something.
You mean the Atlantic?
The Atlantic, yes. Like, who the blood clot is going to win the Atlantic division besides the Knicks? Nobody. Do not talk to me about the Raptors. No, John, don't do it. Well, guess what? Toronto's plus 350. They're second. You think the Toronto's going to win this? You think they're going to finish with a better record than the Knicks? That's basically what you're betting.
Look, I'm not. You're asking me a question in a vacuum. You're asking me minus 140 versus plus 350. That's what we're talking about here.
Yes, and I don't think there's any value in plus 350.
What I was thinking, if you must know, is I think I said this last week. Minus 170, I don't love the value there. Minus 140, with the Raptors record being what it is, if you're out there and you're like Shawn and you think that the Raptors are not frauds, but like more like a 46-win team at their best, then would not now be the time to make your wager on the Knicks? Or maybe, hold on, if you really think the Knicks are not in great spot right now, maybe wait until after the Raptors game on Sunday and see what happens there. And maybe if the Raps put a beat down on the Knicks, send a message, whatever, who knows? Maybe you get Knicks winning division at close to even money a week from now.
I wonder. Okay, now you're gonna make me look at the standings. Oh,
God. Dude, forget the standings. The Raptors, look at their net rating.
No, okay.
They look. We're only a sixth of the way through the season. The Raptors have the fifth best net rating in basketball.
So the Raptors
12-5. They're plus 6.6 per 100 possessions.
Okay, so all right.
They have a two-game lead, essentially. 3 in the win column, 1 in the loss column on the Knicks.
So then here's what I'll tell you. If you think the Raptors are going to beat, to your point, if you think the Raptors are going to beat the Knicks on Sunday, and I don't think most of the audience thinks that, but there might be some realistic people out there. If you think the Raptors are going to beat the Knicks on Sunday, then to your point, wait until after that game, and then you'll get this at a good number. You'll get this at a better number, because at that point, there will be. Now, granted, listen, the Knicks could win 3 in a row. No, the Raptors could lose 3 in a row, and then they're tied, and then they're tied or whatever.
I think the reason to again, I can't believe we're talking about the freaking Raptors in this context.
You started it.
Yeah. Well, no, you brought it up. You put up the division thing.
Yeah, I brought up the division. I was like, no one's winning this division. And you're like, well,
there's a team that's 12-5 in the division with the 6th best net rating in basketball. The reason to be skeptical is last year the Raptors were 24th in effective field goal percentage, which I think if you looked at their talent, I know a lot of guys were hurt last year and Brandon Ingram didn't play a game for them, but they're the third most efficient team in the league this year. The only 2 teams that are ahead of them are the Bucks, Giannis plus shooting, and the Nuggets, high Nikola Jokic. I do not think the Raptors, with their personnel, are going to finish the year with the 3rd highest efficiency in the league. I think if anything, maybe they're going to sniff the top 10. So if you think that offense is due for a drop off, and they're more like the 12th best offense in the league, then again, make your bet on the Knicks to win the division. But I do think there's a world where maybe the Raptors are just more real than we foresaw.
And for me, I just say to myself, I have this rule. I say things out loud 3 times, and if it doesn't make any sense, then I know not to go with it. So I'm going to say out loud, the Toronto Raptors will have a better record than the New York Knicks. The Toronto Raptors will have a better record than the New York Knicks. The Toronto Raptors will have a better record for the New York Knicks. And
hold on, John? Wait, Andrew, just stop the clip right there and put that out on all of our social channels immediately.
I said it out loud 3 times. It doesn't make any sense. But I understand where you're coming from. That's why we have this dialogue here on KFS Weekly Wagers. So, Knicks over under 50 plus wins is minus 180. 55 wins, which I've said I think they're going to be as plus 175. 60 plus wins is plus 650. Could they get to 60 wins? Sure. I think 55 wins is the bet here still. And
Shawn,
yes.
If you want to bet 60 plus wins for this team, can I be your bookie?
I'm not betting. I'm not betting it. I'm not betting it. I think 55 is the sweet spot. That's the number. That's the number I'd look at. All right, now it is time for John's favorite segment of Weekly Wagers, the NBA Cup. Yes, sir.
Is tonight even a cup night? I don't even know.
So no, tonight is not a cup night, but
Wednesday is. I know that.
Wednesday's
a cup night.
Wednesday against the aforementioned Charlotte Hornets is. Now I'm gonna try to zoom in because that looks small as hell.
No, I mean, okay, there we go.
Okay, there we go.
All right, so these are the cup groups.
These are the cup groups. Really quickly. So the Knicks right now to win the cup, they're plus 1,200. Last week they were 6 at plus 1,500, but again with Miami beating I forgot who the hell Miami beat. Actually, let me scroll down here. I can look at this
because it says it.
Miami beat Chicago. So when Miami beat Chicago, that basically made it easier for the Knicks, and more importantly, to win the group. Last week they were plus 160. Now they're the favorites to win the group at minus 130. Now, why do I have this up here on the screen? Here's why. The Knicks are
love the NBA Cup.
I do, but the Knicks are not going to be a wild card team because as you can see here, they are 8th.
No, they're not.
Now, granted, so which wise, and what I mean by that is, that doesn't mean they can't win their final 2 games, because they can. But if they win their final 2 games, they're going to win the group.
Yes,
they're going to win the group, right?
Correct.
So now,
agree.
Now Toronto has won they've won Group A because net rating to holler at them. Detroit and Orlando are tied atop Group B. And currently the Knicks are in third in Group C behind Milwaukee and Miami. Now, last week I told you all, instead of betting plus 160, bet on Miami. I gave out a whole patient parlay. I'm not going to rehash it again. Yes,
I'm so sorry.
You're not sorry, but go ahead.
I'm not sorry. The Heat are 2-1, and their last game in the Cup is probably Wednesday. Actually, now that I think about it, against the Bucks.
Yes, I actually have the schedule right here.
Well, it says the Bucks. I'm just assuming the Cup is done by this week. Or maybe I shouldn't assume that.
No, there's 2 more weeks left.
Because even though the Knicks are going to be done this week, there's like that many more weeks of the Cup play.
No, you play 4 games. The Knicks have only played 2.
Yeah, so I know, and they're done. They're done with their Cup games this week. The Knicks are. That's. Oh, there it is. You just passed it.
Yes.
So the Bucks Heat Cup game is, what day is this?
That's Wednesday.
Yeah. So exactly. So the Heat, if they beat the Bucks this Wednesday, 2 days from now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They will be 3-1 with a massive point differential.
Yes.
What will they not win the group over the Knicks?
If the Knicks win out, they win the group because the Knicks have the tiebreaker.
Over the Heat, because the Heat lost to the Knicks. Oh, yes. I said I should get the NBA Cup tiebreaker rules tattooed on my forehead.
Yeah, the first thing is head-to-head. So, and so the last Cup game is Friday. So, you know what, John, shout out to you. You knew the Cup was done this week, and I didn't. So, shout out to you.
That's why I just love the NBA Cup.
So, listen, if the Knicks win out, they win Group C. So guess what? Well, if they win Wednesday and they win Friday, they win Group C, which means instead of betting, I'm willing to bet that I wonder what the Knicks money line is going to be. I wonder what the Knicks money line is going to be. All right, so Knicks money line, because obviously the money line is not out yet for that game on Wednesday, but the Knicks money line against Brooklyn is, oh my goodness, minus 874. Okay, I was gonna say if you bet the Knicks to win the money line and then bet the money line against Milwaukee, you get a decent number. Honestly, what I would tell you to do is, because earlier I told you all to bet an alternate spread. What you can probably do here is you can bet, instead of betting 13.5, you can actually buy some points. So if I look at let me
keep talking. Here. You know what I'm going to bet on? I'm going to ask Fanatics to create a line for me where I could bet on the Knicks making it to the NBA Cup for the 3rd season in a row, losing in the Cup quarterfinals for the 3rd season in a row, and Knicks fans everywhere having another existential crisis after said loss, because that is what happened the last 2 quarterfinal games against the Hawks. That was, I would argue, the most frustrated the fan base was all season last year.
Agreed.
And then the year before that, they lost to someone hit a bazillion threes against them.
That was the Malik Beasley game. They lost to the Bucks. They lost to the
Bucks. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And I remember after that game, and that was shortly before the OG Anunoby trade, and their defense was like, you want to talk about poo-poo defense? Go look back at your Knicks statistics from like the middle of December 2 years ago. They were giving up 125 a night. So that's where I want to bet on, but I don't think Fanatics is going to give me that line.
They're not. So I'll say this: Knicks minus 9.5 tonight against Brooklyn is minus 200. Bet that. Put $100.
Say that again. Knicks
minus 9.5 is minus 200. So you'd have to bet $200 to win 100.
So the Knicks need to win by double digits.
Yes. So I would say, if you want to bet the Knicks to win the Cup, to win Group C, instead of betting minus 160, because it's basically at this point it's a two-game parlay.
Yeah, but tonight's not a cup game.
Oh, you're right. Tonight's not a cup game. Damn.
I was like, why are you talking about the alternate line for tonight? Tonight's not a cup game. The Hornets game is a cup game.
So I'll say this. So what I did around Brooklyn was I just did now for Brooklyn, where I said instead of betting 13 and minus 13, I'm not going to tell you to bet minus 870. That's stupid.
Yeah, no, nobody wants to do that.
Bet an alternate spread, but buy some points. So
yeah,
they will probably, like I said, if we think the line will be like 10, bet the Knicks -5, and that might be plus. That might be minus 200, and then take that and then roll that over to Knicks money line against the Milwaukee, which will probably be -110, -105, whatever. And then you're gonna make more. You're gonna get more money than betting -160.
We don't yet know for sure whether or not Giannis is gonna miss that game. So I would not go into the week with any plans that involve the Bucks game, because who the hell knows what's going to be happening for that Bucks game. My last word on tonight, and then we can first two things. One, I think I would not put money on the Knicks to win the NBA Cup. I think we have seen over the last few years teams that have real regular season momentum, like I was fucking around with you before about the Raptors. I actually think it would be maybe a smart bet to bet the Raptors to win the NBA Cup. I think it might be a smart bet to bet the Pistons to win the NBA Cup. Those teams clearly are on some sort of a roll. The regular season is hashtag meaningful to both of them. I don't think that the Knicks are going to get up to play those cup games as much as, let's say, again, those other teams. And then as far as the alt lines for tonight, I could see myself sitting there with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And it's like, the Knicks are up by 8. Oh, they're back up by 11. Oh, now they're up by 9. And it's like, I'm sweating that out. I don't want to be sweating that out. Like 6 points, maybe 7 points. Like, I think they're going to win, I think, by multiple possessions. But like, I don't know, 9.5. I personally, I do not have that risk profile.
No. Ignore the 9.5. No, the 9.5 was because I was conflating stuff, and I was saying,
okay, all right.
Bet the 9.5, and then as part of a parlay for the thing.
Okay,
no. Tonight, I would rather bet big or go home. That's it. All right, that's all. That's our show for today. Thank you, John, as always, for joining us.
Oh, I wanted to give a shout out.
Oh, give a shout out.
Right, because we didn't get a chance to talk about out of town bets. I wanted to just very quickly say the only team in the NBA with a better home against the spread record than the Knicks, who are 8-1, are your fighting Phoenix Suns, who are 9-1 against the spread at home, and they just so happen to be getting points at home tonight. Now they're playing the Houston Rockets, and they're only getting 6 points. But look, best against the spread record in the league at home. And they're playing a Rockets team that has found themselves in a lot of close games because, again, this Rockets offense is not designed to go run away with a game against a real team. And I do think the Suns are a real team. They're not perfect, but I think they're a real team. So if you're looking for an out of town bet tonight, I would maybe look at that Phoenix play.
And I'd also look at the Jazz getting 14.5 against Golden State. Because you and I both think the Jazz are a good bad team.
Well, so back to back for the Jazz. Did the Warriors play last night? I don't believe the Warriors. I should know this. Hold on, I'll double check this right now. But either way, the Jazz are like, they're so young and everything. I don't know. Maybe it didn't even matter if they played last night. I don't know.
Take a look at it. Maybe first half spread because the Jazz are frisky. And
the Jazz are very frisky.
They're frisky, and
there's no doubt about that.
And the geriatric State Warriors are absolutely that geriatric.
No, the Warriors haven't played. Yeah, the Warriors haven't played since Friday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Leave that alone. All right. That's our show for today. If you like what you heard and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to Knicks Film School across wherever you get your podcasts. If you're listening on Apple's or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. 5 stars. If you're watching this and you're not a subscriber on YouTube, please subscribe so you'll get alerts when we go live like we did today. You can follow us on all our socials at Knicks Film School, SKOOL. And if you want more Knicks Film School content, including extra podcasts, Benji's.
No, I do the bonus podcast.
Yes.
So I'm probably going to record that. I've been doing mailbag pods. So if you're interested in, and here's the great thing, if you're a patron of Knicks Film School, obviously best bang for your buck, talking about bang for your buck, is to sign up for the Brunson tier, which is just $11 a month, and you get DJ and Benji's bonus comments or bonus content plus my bonus podcast. But if you just want to do the mellow tier, which is $7 a month, you get a bonus podcast from me once every 10 days or so. And they're all mailbag pods. So you ask a question, you're guaranteed to get it answered by me in podcast form. So subscribe to the Patreon if you have a few extra bucks to throw around every month.
Exactly. So subscribe to Patreon. As John said, you get bonus episodes from John. You get Benji's great book. You get the film session from Benji and DJ. And also, you can also sign up for the Substack, which is the newsletter that John writes every day, which is absolutely fantastic. All right.
Many people are saying, nice newsletter today, Macri.
Many people are saying. Shout out to the chat. All right. So for John, I am Shawn for W. Thank you for watching. Knicks Nation, let's ride. If you're out of your bite tonight, do wear white.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See the Fanatics Sportsbook app.